Hi everyone, this is our review of what Macbet did on Saturday at Doomben. We had a pretty ordinary day. We backed a lot of seconds and a few rides that were a bit questionable, or just rides that just victim of circumstances really. Um, Two of the best. We had our first loss at that as well, so not the best of the weekends for us, that's for sure. In race one, we had a small bet on really Riley, but we were very worried about it backing up. It was flat. It got the split down the straight, and it just couldn't take it really. It was just a bit one paced, and it was quite heavily backed. But we had a small bet on it. We had a small bet on driving wheels down the bottom. Went very good. This horse sat wide and went good. And Seeking Asylum, we had a small bet on it. Raced a lot further back than I would have thought. I would have thought it might have got into a fourth or fifth, but it was way back. Didn't go too bad, the horse. And Jade Fox, we were questioning whether it could get the distance. We had it under the market, but we were worried about whether it could get the 1350. The way the race was run just played into its hands, and it was able to get home. Race two. We didn't know what to do with Snitz. We were told it was going to go forward. It tried to, and then it just was wide from that gate over 1,050 metres. It's just a hellhole out there, and it went quite good, the horse, but it was always going to be against it. Kabirian, we were against it. $4 was under the odds, but I think the horse is a bit weak. He's got to let it run. They tried to hold it up, and I think it's one of those horses just let it rip. Darktown Strutter, we were against it because of the gate. I think it needs a spell. And Basara, the winner, we were under the odds, but it was only because we were sort of following the market earlier because we didn't know a lot about it. But it wasn't a bad win, that horse. Race three, the Toppy, it was short enough. It had a chance, but geez, the $3.30, that was ridiculous for it. Live Fast, we were in the same boat. We didn't really like it. It blew in the market. We had something on Temujin's Queen at good odds around the $25, $31 mark. Just went fair, that's about all. We had small bet on Siliqua, return just because of the blinkers. Didn't think it went that crash hot first up, but just the blinkers added, we thought it could improve, and it did. Stellarcraft, we're under the market as well with it, but just wasn't enough value for us to have something on it. Race four, Mr. Epic, we were totally wrong with this one. I haven't got this horse right for a long time, and the ride was a cracker. It really proves, if you watch Hong Kong racing, when the mile 2,000 metre races are run there and they go out very fast early, then there's a mid-race takeoff by someone. And a lot of the time, those horses are very hard to beat. This is exactly what happened in this race. They went a little bit quick early, and then they started to slow up, and Magure just took off and did the right thing, got up on second on the outside and was just able to hold them off at the finish. It was a very nice ride. Anymore, we had a little bet on it. It didn't really get the 2,000, which we were worried about. King Viv, we were against early in the morning, but it got out to nearly our price. It didn't go too bad. Cashing up, that was the horse that we wanted to be on, but the mile to 2,000, they're a different type of horse, and that's what we suggested. We just couldn't bet just because of that. It's just a very hard caper for milers to get the 2,000. In race five, we had a good bet on Sweet Adeline here. We thought it was the right horse. Lloyd's problem with this ride was that the horse drawn inside of him, Cal's Shadow, was possibly the leader, or a horse that was going to go into the right spot. Now, he tried to get around it early, and that was the mistake he made. He should have known that that horse was a go-forward horse. If he just jumped onto its back, it would have been perfect. He got into trouble. It eased the grey Cal's Shadow after a couple hundred metres, and then all of a sudden he was out three wide. He had no option but to go forward, but that was the end of it. So I'd be following it again. Pinolino just heavily backed this horse. We definitely thought it had a chance, but it's one of those horses that get you in a lot. Had its chance again today. Just had the race shot to bits, really, the way the race was run. It just couldn't hold off the winner. Lascar, we had something on it as well at the big odds. It was caught wide and just a grinding run. It's had a big break before a couple of runs ago, last spell. So it's just a matter of whether this horse is going to come back. Race 6, we had a good bet on Sharpermel here. We thought it had a nice lead and it'll give a nice kick. It was around $9. Did give the nice kick, but just on the one horse on his back, Doomben, was able to come out and get around it and get it and beat it. So we were a bit unlucky there. Rhyming, we thought the distance was always going to be a little bit of a question mark with that horse. Race 7, we were against the top of Eat My Trust. I think we had it about $9 and I think it was $3.20 to $4.40 and had the right sort of run and didn't really run on. Kubus, we had something on it. We were worried about the mile and that was the problem. He dashed clear and just got run down. We had something on Reset Me on Wild. It got checked after a couple of 100 metres and after that he was sort of half scrubbing it the whole way. So he might be a horse to forgive that run just because of that check. Meet and Greet, we were wrong with it. We just didn't give it enough improvement. The horse improved a fair bit and it was held up the other day at Doomben and the money came for it and we were wrong with that horse. Race 8, Oxford Poet, we were always thinking it was going to get the right run. It was just a matter of whether you could forgive its last start when it gave up a bit mildly. But it was there, it was going to get the right run and it did. Ins and Out, same sort of thing. It was always going to get the right run, but the distance 1350 was always going to be a question mark with it. We had a very small bet on Punter Norte just because we thought it might lead. Race 9, the Toppy, this really got me, this horse. I thought I think it's a nice horse. The other day he put blinkers on, went up in distance, which is totally against what I like. Then he's brought it back to 1200 and it raced like it was going to previous start, or its win at Caloundra. Just a nice horse, dash clear and beat him easy. We had small bets on Excalibrator because we thought it would lead. Mishani El Lobo, we thought it was worth a bet and it got caught wide and had no hope after that. And a little bet on Brizoni, we thought it had some hope as well. But I was very disappointed in that race just because of prioritise. I just didn't get it right. In the last race, again, this was one where we didn't bet in this race. We had very small bets on Neptune Palace, which should have won, just got held up at the wrong time. We were happy to bet against Backslapper. We had it $13 and we were keen to bet against it. But Khaleesi, we had it shorter than the market. I think we had it about the $13 mark and it was 18s. I didn't throw anything on it to my failure. Powerful Saga did nothing, led and just weakened badly. We threw something on Marksfield because we thought it would race in the right spot, but it finished up 3 wide and fought on quite well. So all in all, we had a few of them that we had them priced under the market, but they just weren't enough value, and we fell into a few others that were either unlucky or some of them didn't do anything. So it was a mixed bag for us, but definitely a losing day. Talk to you all next week.